We live in an era of easily bored brains, rapid changing trends, and never-ending distractions. We're the generations of a rapid changing future with which even we can't keep up. When you walk on the streets, everybody's in a hurry. When you sit in the subway, everybody's scrolling. Who notices the trees anymore? Who makes time to listen to the birds chirping on a warm and bright morning? I recently stopped to notice the magic of fall, and it changed me. I went on a walk today, having in mind to just take in the peace the beautiful nature tries to show us every day. It amazed me how many things I didn't notice living on the same street for the past 2 years. It disappointed me to realize how many places I didn't explore living in the same city for the last 3 years. How much do we miss staring at our phones for so many hours every day? Studies say that it's around 14 years. 14 years missing out on the beautiful life we have been given. I came to a foreign country to study at university. And studying is what I did. But there was so much more to this experience. We have so much energy in our 20s, and our brains are like sponges, so eager to find out what's new, what's different from our culture. And we have so much to learn from and so much to discover. And we have so much free time compared to what we're gonna have later on in life if we would just spend that time on the things that actually mattered. But it's so hard to discern what really matters in life anymore because we're so confused of this rapid changing environment. Yet, if we look close enough and deep enough, our souls tell us what they crave, and it's usually something else than scrolling. Since I realized this, and I still have so much more to read about and to discover, but I tried to develop some healthy mental habits that didn't only improve my university performance, but also my mental health, my personal life, and my emotional stability. Our brains are nowadays used to so much stimulation that even our daily activities seem so boring. And so our minds constantly seek those distractions. They scan the environment around us to find something to cling to. And if they don't find some object or device near us, they start making things up that we end up daydreaming about. And like so, it's over with our focus and concentration and anything we had to do for that matter. And all this just to escape those boring tasks that we have to do every day. And sometimes we cannot even decide if we want to do them or not because we just have to do them. And we're kind of in a tough spot right now because maybe some years ago one could have said,
you know what? I'm gonna get rid of all the devices, all the Apple Watches, all the phones. I'm gonna block all the ads and pop-ups that distract me. In fact, I'm gonna get rid of everything that has a screen, and I'm gonna transition into this detox phase, and I'm gonna come back fresh and ready to focus so much better than I did before.
And of course, we could also try this now, but it would be so much harder because almost everything we do nowadays involves a screen. We respond to emails, we work, we study, we plan our activities and schedules, we watch movies, we communicate with others, we order things that we can find in stores, and so much more. Now, you can imagine what kind of an effect all these things have on our brains. And it's almost impossible to escape this world of overstimulation that social media apps and those endless notifications we get on our screens put us through. And usually, we don't even want to completely disconnect with everything, because between all those pointless yet sometimes entertaining videos, shorts, reels, TikToks, whatever you want to call them, we can still sometimes find some helpful, interesting, and informative ones from which we can learn something and maybe expand our knowledge. But what we can do is to train our brains to respond better to those not so stimulating and exciting activities. Because if we break it down, one of the biggest problems with this whole situation is that we're not able to focus on our daily work anymore. We're not able to study without taking breaks every 10 minutes to check our phones, and we're not able to concentrate on a 90-minute lecture unless it's very exciting, interactive, or stimulating in some way. And what is worse is that at the chemical level of our bodies, our brains reward us with these pleasure chemicals, with these neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, for the simple act of getting on our phones and starting scrolling and engaging with these posts on social media, like pictures that we like or videos that we find enjoyable. In the last few years of being advised or even sometimes forced to not leave our houses and do everything from home only made this worse. And so because I noticed I was struggling to concentrate once in-person university started, I tried different methods to improve my ability to focus. I read books and articles on how to get myself to study for 2 hours without interruptions, or how to fully engage in working on a task without checking my phone every 3 notifications. And out of all the resources out there, the one that impacted me the most was this TED Talk of a guy named Chris Bailey, who talks about his struggle with concentration and how he battled it by committing for 1 hour a day to one of the most boring activities one can think of. And one of the things he did was to watch a clock ticking for 1 entire hour every day. Now imagine how low of a stimulation that is for our millennial brains right now. I honestly don't think that I could do this easily. But he discovered that after this experiment, his attention span improved so much and he was finally able to focus for longer on the important stuff that he had to work on. And I really think that this or something similar are activities that we should all do from time to time, because this overstimulating world is only getting worse. The next generations are only getting more and more distracted. So where are we headed, really? And I honestly think that this exercise is one of the nicest gifts you can get for your future self. At first, we have to understand that our daily energy is limited, and we can choose how we want to invest that energy during the day, because we only have so much energy in 24 hours. Now, we should also think about the fact that where we invest our energy is what's going to define us later on, because we really become what we constantly spend our lives doing and thinking about. Like, if you spend your teenage and young adult years studying to someday become a scientist, you'll eventually become a scientist. If you train for 10 years every day to become an athlete, you'll become an athlete. If you spend 5 hours a day being addicted to your phone, before you know it, you've become a phone addict. If you read for 2 hours every day to improve your reading speed, pretty soon you'll find that you've become a fast reader. If you meditate for 1 hour every day for several years, you'll become a pretty powerful meditator, and so much more. If you work out and train every day to get back in shape, you'll soon become that person that everybody sees as being in a very good shape. It's that simple. We make it seem complicated because we live in this overcomplicated life and we're kind of addicted to it, and we feel like we don't have a choice. But the change starts from us. The change starts from within. And the moment we decide to invest a little bit more energy every day in what interests us, that's when things are going to start to change. So ask yourself, what do I want to do? What are the most important things that I want to invest into? Not what I have to do, but what I want to do after I finish my mandatory tasks. And invest your energy in that exact thing, in that exact activity. Now, let's say you have so many self-improvement plans in mind, but you just don't have time for them because there's so much you need to do already. The key is to understand how to improve that energy. Dr. Bonura talks about 3 main aspects we need to think about in her book called How to Boost Your Physical and Mental Energy, which I totally recommend if you're interested in this subject. So the first aspect she talks about are our energy reserves, and it's that fuel that we need in order to function and to be energetic. And we gain that from sleep, good restful sleep, and self-care routines. Now, you can have all the time in the world, but if you're not well rested and you don't take care of your mental and physical health, you won't be able to reach your highest potential. Think about this like a foundation that you need to have when you build a house. If you have it, you can then start to build upon it brick by brick, decision by decision, habit by habit, so that at the end, you have this beautiful and solid house that looks exactly like your dream house. That's your dream self. That's the best version of yourself, which you can improve upon every single day. Now imagine you don't have this foundation, or you have it, but it's unstable, just about to collapse once you put some more weight over it. Just like you could collapse with so many worries and the weight of the world on your shoulders. You cannot support the bricks to build a house if you don't have a solid groundwork to begin with. The second thing she talks about are the choices that we make regarding the people and things or activities in your life that create a sense of vitality and engagement. So carefully choosing the people that surround us, as well as our hobbies, play a very important role here, because you know it's the pleasant things and the real connections in life that charge us with that radiant positive energy. The last thing she mentions is the importance of recharging when our batteries run low, when we've already accomplished the things we wanted to do and we're so proud and we would like to keep going, to keep grinding because it finally gives us satisfaction. But remember that you can't pour from an empty cup, so make sure you take your time to recharge after pushing hard for a while.